As the dust clears over the vast landscape of the Sahel, a new military reality is taking shape that has left the enemies of African sovereignty in a state of absolute collapse. In a massive coordinated offensive that masks a turning point for the continent, the unified forces of the Alliance of the Sahel States, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have successfully cornered and neutralized a staggering 2,500 terrorist fighters in a single week of high-intensity operations. This isn't just a skirmish, it is a total strategic trap that has wiped out suicide vehicle fleet and destroyed dozens of enemy command centers, proving that when African brothers stand together, the shadow of terror finally begins to fade. Good day, you're watching The Global Observer. Our lead story today examines the unprecedented success of the AES big move, the integration of 15,000 elite troops, and how a new era of security is being written in the sand of West Africa. The story begins on April 25, 2026, a date that will go down in history as the day the Sahel fought back with one voice. Following a series of cowardly attacks, the military leaders of Burkina Faso and Niger didn't just send condolences, they sent the heavy metal. They ignored the desperate pleas from militant spokespeople who tried to tell them to stay out of Mali's business. Those pleas fell on deaf ears because these leaders know that a fire in your neighborhood or in your neighbor's house is a fire in your own house. Together, they struck strategic zones in Kidal, moving like a single massive fist. The toll on the enemy was devastating. Over 100 suicide vehicles turned to scrap metal and 152 motorcycles, the lifeblood of desert insurgents, completely destroyed. This is what total liberation looks like when you stop asking for foreign permission and start taking back your sword. Think of the old security models as a broken bridge. They looked good from a distance, but they couldn't hold any weight. For years, Western powers told us we were too weak to defend ourselves. But look at the numbers we are now. The AES has increased its unified force to 15,000 men. This is a massive security shield that doesn't answer to Paris or Washington. Backed by Russian instructors who are providing the technical edge, the Malian army is regaining control of its territory at a speed the world never expected. It is a masterclass in regional cooperation. From the ground, the message is clear. If you attack one of us, you are inviting the wrath of three nations. This isn't just a military shift, it is a psychological one. The terrorists are no longer the hunters, they are the prey. But while the soldiers are winning on the battlefield, the authorities are fighting a second war in the airwaves. On May 5, 2026, the Higher Council for Communication in Burkina Faso officially pulled the plug on TV5 Monde. This wasn't a sudden move. It was a necessary response to a pattern of disinformation. For too long, these Western channels have been acting like a PR agency for the insurgents, glorifying violence and twisting the narrative to make the defenders look like valiant. The regulator found that between April and May, the channel was caught peddling news that favored the terrorists. It is like having a referee in a football game who is secretly wearing the jersey of the opposing team. Burkina Faso simply said the game is over. They are demanding professional rigor and respect for African lives, proving that sovereignty isn't just about land, it is about the truth. As we shift our focus on South, we see that the spirit of sovereign decision-making is also playing out in Senegal. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye has finally addressed the rumors about his relationship with Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko. In a high-stakes interview, Faye reaffirmed his total confidence in Sonko, describing him as a man carrying out his mission with the full trust of the Senegalese people. It is a powerful reminder that stability starts at the top. While critics tried to find cracks in the leadership, Faye reminded everyone that Prime Minister represents the President in both civilian and military matters. However, dear viewers, he also sent a clear warning. The interests of Senegal must always come first. Trust is earned, and in this new Africa, there is no room for those who do not put the people before their own ambitions. This theme of people first is also playing out in the streets of South Africa, but in a much more painful way. Amid a surge in xenophobic tensions, 113 Nigerian nationals have requested to go home. They are choosing to leave Pretoria and Johannesburg to avoid the rising tide of anti-immigrant sentiments. The Nigerian government has stepped up, setting up a voluntary repatriation program to bring their brothers and sisters back to safety. It is a sobering moment. While groups in South Africa blame migrants for unemployment, advocacy groups see it for what it is: the dangerous politicization of human lives. Abuja and Pretoria are now locked in diplomatic talks with Niger, demanding answers for the death of its citizens during police actions. It is a reminder that the road to African unity is still full of thorns. Despite these challenges, the light of hope is shining brighter back in Burkina Faso's Bam province. High Commissioner Karim Ouedraogo recently stood before the national colors to praise a different kind of hero: the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP. These are ordinary citizens who took up arms to protect their villages. Because of their bravery, thousands of displaced families are finally going home before the rainy season starts. They are rebuilding their lives on land that was once occupied by fear. This is the ultimate ground operation, restoring security community by community, village by village. It is a spirit of solidarity that is infectious. When the treasury officials and the local leaders stand together, the terrorists lose their grip. As we look at the map of the Sahel today, dear viewers, the one big move by AES is more than just a victory in Kidal. It is a declaration that the era of African helplessness is over. We are seeing a unified force that is 15,000 strong, a media environment that refuses to be manipulated by foreign interests, and a civilian population that is actively reclaiming its destiny. The 2,500 terrorists neutralized this week are just the beginning. The goal is total liberation. A Mali, a Niger, and a Burkina Faso where children can play without looking at the sky in fear. The lion has stopped roaring. The lion has stopped roaring and started biting, and the world is finally taking notice. The transition from a military solution to a sovereign solution is complete. The AES is no longer waiting for a seat at the table. They have built their own table, and they are inviting every West African nation to join them. This is the new Black history in the making, a history written not with the ink of foreign donors, but with the courage of those who refuse to be victims. As the rainy season approaches, the seeds of a new Africa are being planted in the soil, and no amount of disinformation or terror can stop them from growing. Thank you for watching the Global Observer. I'd like you to stay right there.